So with our kneeling 45 drill, this is one of our kind of constraint drills at the very beginning of our throwing progression that we utilize to work on guys' arm actions, right? So specifically, there's kind of two different concepts that we're trying to achieve with this drill. One, we're trying to understand how the arm works proximal to distal, right? As well as understanding how the relationship between my elbow and arm being in plane with my chest. So those are the two concepts we're really trying to teach with this drill. In terms of the actual setup of the drill, we're going to go into a stance where I get on my knees. I'm going to turn 45 degrees roughly towards your throwing arm side, okay? And then we'll do this drill in basically two different ways with our setup. So one way is we'll do it completely unconstrained, where we'll just let athletes start with their hands at their center of their chest and just kind of go down into their regular arm action, but really trying to focus more on throwing a little bit sidearm and letting that arm stay in plane with the chest, okay? But really for beginners, guys that are first doing this drill, we're gonna start them with a little bit of a regression where we're gonna start in a constrained position. So we're gonna get the arm up to 90 degrees, okay? The elbow is gonna be in line with my shoulders here, okay? Arm's gonna be at 90 degrees of elbow flexion, okay? I don't want it too close to my ear and I don't want it too far away from your body. Same as with the elbow, I don't want it too low or too high, okay? Nice comfortable position that would look like we're at front foot strike, okay? So from here, the ball is gonna face away from us as if it's facing towards third base for me as a righty, if I was on the mound, okay? So that's my kind of constrained position. From here, how I'm gonna start the drill is by trying to use this glove arm to get myself going and give myself direction to my target. So if we're throwing into a plyo wall, I'm gonna reach my arm out as well as kind of cock back and counter rotate my chest. As I do that, I'm gonna turn my thumb down, trying to squeeze onto that wall to give myself some tension, some leverage to utilize, and then pull in with my glove arm. And you'll see as I do that, if I do that well, that back shoulder is gonna come along for the ride, okay? As that's happening, I'm trying to stay tight into my body, okay? This is where the idea of proximal to distal really happens, okay? So we're trying to capture momentum around our body and deliver the ball with as much angular velocity as we possibly can, okay? Utilizing your arm as a little bit more of like a lever, right? Concept versus you just kind of extending your arm early and trying to swing it almost like a discus, right? We want to try as you go into rotation, especially with your torso, where you're trying to keep that arm at 90 degrees of elbow flexion, but just allow yourself to relax back into external rotation. And then as your body is going into rotation, you're capturing that momentum and you're going into elbow extension right at release, okay? It's kind of a hard concept, but I'm gonna put in a little bit of a clip of an overhead view to show this, as well as a couple other demonstrations. In terms of a programming standpoint, we always utilize this as the first drill because I consider it to be the most constrained drill that we really will do because you're on your knees, putting you in a bit of a constrained arm position, as well as we're going to use this predominantly with the heavier plyo balls, and we're going to kind of stay in the range of about 50 to 60% RPE, or rate of perceived effort, okay? So again, we're going to use this with the 16 ounce, potentially down to the 7 ounce ball. We're never going to really use this with a 5 ounce ball, considering it's our very first drill with our warm-up series in terms of the throwing progression. So that's what our kneeling 45 drill looks like.